Everybody, welcome to Queers and Soaps. My name is Derek, and I'm joined by Karen, and we are here to discuss what's happening on GH. This we are covering the week of January 6th to January 11th, 2025. Tommy will roll the credits, and we'll get started. What an epic week! They are killing it.
It was really impressive. I had a great time. There's a lot of actors having what looks like the time of their lives this week. So good stuff.
It was a great week all around. So you opened the week with the return of Lucy, which was a really nice surprise.
My favorite.
Great to see Lynn Herring. And she welcomes the new owner of Windermere, who is revealed to be Sidwell, which is
Right.
interesting because he wasn't on the canvas when Windermere was sold. So interesting development. But, we'll see what happens with that. I have a few theories about Sidwell that we'll talk about in speculation. But
Oh, cool. I have none. I have none other than I think his chemistry with Lucy Coe is just
he has
great
chemistry with her.
Yeah. And I love Lucy. So any way to get her on the canvas and keep her on the canvas makes me happy.
Yes. It was great to see her. It was so much fun. Lucy offers to introduce him to Port Charles Society and give him a tour around. And they had a lot of chemistry in those scenes where they were drinking wine and talking about the history. And she offers to introduce him to the Quartermaines. And I'm not sure what his angle is yet with her.
He's fishing for information.
Right.
He got a whole bunch of information about the Spencers and everyone he's going after in town.
Right. Well, what I mean is he interested in her romantically as well, or is he just interested in just getting information out of
her? I don't know. Sorry, I got a big lamp back there. But anyway, whatever. So I think he just wants information from her. I think he genuinely likes her. He seems to be flirting quite a bit with her, so that's fine. I hope so. Like I said, I think they have really great chemistry, and I would love to see Lucy with a bad boy. She has a tendency to get suckered in by Scotty, and she always wants a good guy, but she always ends up with a bad guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Except for Kevin. Even when she was with Kevin, Kevin went through a whole bad boy stage because he was having psychosis.
Well, I wouldn't call Martin a bad guy either.
No, he was a good guy, but they didn't last.
No, she never lasted good guys. So we'll put it, I guess. So at the hospital, Portia informs Lucas about the rumors are true that Liz has been suspended. We don't really see Liz this week, but hopefully we'll get back to her next week. Cyrus arrives at the hospital and causes a stir. I loved Brad yelling at him and about Britt and everything. That was great. I enjoyed Lucas telling Brad also that he's a good person that makes horrible decisions.
That's accurate for most of the cast.
But it's nice to see that he's warming up to Brad. I'm really hoping there's a reconciliation in their future. So it looks like they're working towards that.
I hope so.
Yeah, that'll be really great. Let's see. Then we have Jocelyn packing up Dex's things, and she's determined to get answers about who stabbed Dex. And she's talking to Trina about this. Meanwhile, Brendan, I can't talk today, is
Jack Brennan.
Jack Brennan, yes. He's scolding Colette for taking a shot at Valentine.
She wasn't supposed to take a shot at Valentine. Why did she do that? Even her explanation makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't understand either. It was very weird and didn't make
sense. She's like, other people were there, so I took the shot. And he's like, what? Why?
Yeah, why would you do that?
Why would you do that? We're not trying to kill Valentine. She's like, yeah, I know. But then Dante came in and I thought, why not take the shot? So I took the shot and I missed. And he's like, this is crazy. This is not what I asked you to do.
Right, exactly. Later, Brennan gets a hold of his footage from December 10th, which is the day that Dex was stabbed, and he discovers that Cyrus is the culprit.
Yep.
But because he is with the WSB, there is nothing he can do about that.
And it was a very fun scene because it was basically like how they make fun of all the TV shows where they're like, enhance. And he's like zooming in.
Yes.
And then you can see, obviously Cyrus's ponytail and gray hair. And it's so obvious it's him.
Yeah. So this is the fun part. Well, not really fun, but Drew and Willow are in DC. And Willow is served with divorce papers and saying that Michael is pursuing full custody of the kids, and she's surprised by this. Like,
She why does it seem like she had a lobotomy at some point?
I don't know. She's not smart anymore.
No, she got real dumb real fast. Now, listen, I'm here for it. It's a lot more fun, but she's just so crazy about. It's almost like she's incredibly delusional about the relationship that she has with Michael, because she keeps acting like all I did was fall in love with and sleep with another man. Why is my husband so mad at me?
Yeah.
Why would he take my children?
Come on, Willow, get a clue.
She says as she transported one of the children across state lines without the permission of the father. Like, what is happening with her? It is fun, though.
Yeah, it is. Meanwhile, Carly goes to see Jason, and she's livid about Willow and Drew. And Jason tries to calm her down. And Michael is at Sonny's penthouse talking to him about Willow. And Sonny is supporting him. She needs to believe that Drew is a hero when he certainly is not.
Yeah, a couple people made some really astute points about Willow this week, and one of them is Michael.
Yes.
Because Michael is just like, I think she needs a hero, and then she falls in love with that hero, and then she molds herself into whatever person they want.
They want her to be.
Yeah, and he's like, what? And Drew is just the latest in a line of heroes. She's molding herself into a different person for.
Trauma from Colt. For sure. So we get to Jason and Sonny step outside to talk. I don't remember what they were going to go talk about, but
so there was like a coffee delivery situation. It feels like it was probably some mob business, and they wanted Sonny to handle it personally. And with everything going on, Sonny, in his heart, Sonny was not going to handle it personally. So Jason came to talk to them about options on what to do, because he told him, he's like, you know, they want you. And Sonny's like, no, well, they can't have me.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's what I told him.
And they are shocked to see that Sonny's penthouse is engulfed in flames, and they go inside, and Michael is engulfed in the flames. And that's where we left off with Monday's episode. So
yep.
Crazy.
And the thing about it is the door exploded off the hinges. It was, the blast was so forceful. And kudos to like the stunt people, because Michael was literally on fire. You saw him on fire.
Very much so. Yeah.
I hope Chad didn't do that. Poor Chad.
I know. I didn't want Michael to go out that way. It was sad to watch.
It was really upsetting. I love him.
Yeah. Then Tuesday's episode really upset me, because we have this montage of Willow and Drew making love, and while Michael is being burned.
Gross.
By this fire, which was absolutely, I thought it was.
Are we trying to, like, what are we trying to do with that scene?
It's like, I feel like they were trying to get us to care as much as we cared about Clink Boom and all those other scenes.
I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like they're trying to get us to really, really hate Drew and Willow.
We do hate Drew. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, mission accomplished. I hate them. Good job.
I hate Drew even more after this week. Jeez, like,
he was absolutely horrific this week.
Oh my god,
Cameron Matheson killing it out here in these streets.
Oh, he's doing amazing, but like, Drew is just,
awful.
I know. I miss Billy Miller's Drew.
Oh, different character, different personality, different everything.
Character, yeah.
Yeah.
So Nina bursts into Curtis's office, and she wants to take the company jet to DC, which is, great idea, Nina, as Curtis points out. Curtis says she's going to make things worse. So Nina continues to call Willow in DC, and she soon tells her about Michael after it.
Well, the fun thing about Curtis, though, is Curtis gives Nina a suggestion to blow everything out of the water to screw Drew even harder. And she considers it for a second, but she realizes that would also throw Willow under the bus. And she just points to Curtis, and she's like, what do you get out of this? I'm just out here being the most Quartermain who's not a Quartermain, whoever Quartermain.
Maybe he's related to Justice somehow.
He's got to be related to a Quartermain. He's got the...
He has to be. I would love that twist. If he's related to Justice or one of the wards, that would be
he doesn't need to be, but it's funny that he's really doing some classic Quartermain techniques here. I really have been enjoying Curtis.
Curtis has been a highlight lately for sure. When Michael arrives at General Hospital, Lucas freezes because of what happened with Sam, and he needs medical attention immediately, and he is rushed into the OR with Jason and Sunny.
What a powerful performance of him shaking with stress.
I give him Performer of the Week, Van Hansis. He was great. I really enjoyed
that. Was an incredible scene. I couldn't imagine having your nephew come in after, you know, what happened with Sam. Like the last time you operated on a family member, they died.
Mm-hmm.
The trauma of that is not going away anytime soon. And it wasn't even that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago, and he played it beautifully. It was very well done.
Mm-hmm.
We also see Brooklyn and Lois. Brooklyn thinks that she's not able to get pregnant. Is payback for her giving up her baby. Oh, she finally said those words. You know what's coming.
I hate this so much.
I don't like it at all either.
I hate it. First off, I hate the idea that somebody has a baby and gives them away and then is punished by God so they can never get pregnant. Like Lois is on the same page as me. She's like, that's nonsense. That's not how this stuff works.
Right. So we're gearing up for the revelation about Gio. We already know it's coming.
The revelation that none of us cares about.
Exactly.
That poor kid. He did not need to be related to anybody. He could have just been somebody's cousin from Bensonhurst and it would have been fine.
Exactly. There's no reason for this at all. I feel like it's shock value that we don't need.
It's not shocking. Nobody cares.
Not at all. Let's see. Chase also confided in Sasha, who assures him that he is worried over nothing. That he and Brooklyn will have a child.
Well, literally, they just started trying to get pregnant.
Yeah, and Brooklyn doesn't even know anything yet. She hasn't been looked at by a doctor.
He hasn't either.
Neither, yeah.
Nobody knows if the issue's with one or the other. They haven't looked into that yet.
No, so there's no reason to panic yet. I mean, they're setting it up for Brooklyn not being able to have a baby and Gio's going to be rebellious or something. Yeah, we know. We know it's coming.
We know, and we wish it wasn't.
Yeah, we wish it wasn't.
Poor Gio. He needs to stand on his own before he's looped into a family.
Yeah, absolutely. Carly and Brennan meet up. Oh, Carly's having a drink, and Brennan invites himself to join her. And they're talking about Jocelyn, and then Carly gets a call and hears about the fire. Or I think they overhear it from somebody, actually.
There's somebody talking about how the penthouse exploded. Like he was there and he couldn't go to a meeting or something because the penthouse blew up. And that's how she finds out that it was Harborview Towers. It was the penthouse. And of course she thinks it's Sunny. So she rushes to the hospital.
Right. So first Carly is relieved to see Jason and Sunny are okay. And then she is upset because Michael is in the OR and then she blames Sunny, essentially.
It is Sunny's fault. It is Sunny's fault. No offense to like Sunny, but like his lifestyle is dangerous to every member of his family, and we all know that. So it is, he's culpable, but you know, culpable in the way that like anybody who has a job like that is.
Yeah.
It was just bad timing.
Yeah. So Portia informs them that Michael is in critical condition.
Because she's bad news bears.
She's bad news bear. But before that, though, Portia banned Cyrus from the hospital, which actually
I love that.
I enjoyed that in her.
Portia's hero arc this week, banning Cyrus from the hospital.
Yes, that was great. I enjoyed that a lot.
She was nervous too. Did you see how nervous she was doing it? And yeah, she did a great job.
Because you know Cyrus is gonna not take that lying down.
Yeah, he totally ignored it.
Exactly. Yeah, but you know, I actually like Portia in a scene, so here we go.
I liked her all week. It's not that like I mean I know she drops all the bad information all the time and we tease, but I think she did a good job this week.
Yeah, she wasn't her usual self, and
because it wasn't about her.
No, it wasn't about her this week. So yeah, it's working for her. Also, Isaiah was there as well, and I loved him this week too. He was great.
Lucas was smart. He pulled in Isaiah, and he had him take over most of it, so that he would still be there to assist. But he was worried about his anxiety being an issue, which it was.
It definitely was. And so Martin, Willow, I don't remember who called who. Did Martin call Willow or did Willow call Martin? I think Martin called Willow.
I think Martin called Willow. All the lawyers are
Yeah.
checking in.
Yeah, all the lawyers are checking in. And he warns Willow that she could lose custody if she doesn't file now for custody of her kids. And Willow
Mhm.
does this. And let's see, Michael is in the hospital and Drew arrives and Curtis lays into him, and I absolutely love that.
Okay, so my favorite line of this week, he's like, well, what would you do? And he's like, well, for starters, I wouldn't sleep with my nephew's wife. And I was like, if you loved him, you wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and it was Drew was claiming he was worried about Michael. He cared about Michael. If you cared about him, you wouldn't sleep with his wife.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I don't know what this play is. Like, is he delusional too? Did they both get lobotomies? Because I don't know what's happening. Because he walked in there like everybody was going to be happy to see him in this scenario. You slept with Michael's wife, which upset him, which was why he was at the penthouse, which is why he got blown up. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Get the hell out of here, dude.
And I love when Drew uses history when he's not even present or wasn't even existed yet.
I imagine that every morning at the breakfast table at the Quartermains, they rehash every little bit of history.
How does Drew wasn't even around. How does Drew know all this?
Have you seen the way these people talk to each other? They're always bringing up stuff. I'm sure anytime Monica and Ned are at the table together, somebody mentions that they slept together.
Yeah. Well, later he has a scene with Carly in the church and they have a confrontation. And he brings up that why would you want Sonny to raise Michael instead of AJ? And he wasn't around for that, so I was like, I don't know. I mean, he's not wrong, but like Carly.
Yeah, but he's not doing it to make a point. He's doing it to stab. Like he's just hurting people.
Yeah,
manipulating and hurting people.
Yes, and that's not the Drew I know, but this is the Drew that we know now.
Hey, man, when you recast, you get a new character. Easy peasy.
Also, we see Christina this week as Alexis heads to the hospital and joins her daughter. And Christina, of course, goes on and on and on about how this affects her.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my, everything out of her mouth was, but Michael does this, and this for me. Mm-hmm. And what am I going to do without him to do all the things he does for me? And I was like, you got to be shitting me right now.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I mean,
unbelievable.
I mean, and Alexis didn't even say a word. She just let Christina say whatever she was going to say. And it's just amazing to me that Alexis still hasn't been like, Christina, you need to stop thinking about yourself.
Somebody needs to say it to her. I have no idea why no one said it to her. Like, you're crazy. Well, yeah, but nobody listens to Molly. Everybody acts like Molly's an insane person. And Molly's like, but my sister's a nut bar who thinks everything's about her, but nobody cares.
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
I keep talking. I'm going to get rid of these lights. Some of these lights are crazy.
Oh, you're good. All right. So we have Jocelyn and Willow. Jocelyn is having a
everything went.
Okay, here we go. Tommy, edit this out. Okay, so Jocelyn and Willow end up having an epic confrontation at the hospital, which I loved every single minute of this. Jocelyn laid into her about her pattern, about how selfish she is, that she's a cheating wife. It was just epic. And Jocelyn is like becoming one of my all-time favorites.
Okay, so that scene crushed. Mm-hmm. There was nothing about that I didn't like.
It was just so good. And it continued on in the next episode, and she just kept going and crushing it.
I think my favorite part is when Nina comes.
Yeah, I love that. Was great too.
Yeah, when Nina's like, "You're just like your mother," and she's like, "Thank you."
Oh my God, yes, that was epic.
Oh.
But you know what? She did point out that Willow is just like Nina, and she is a lot more like Nina than I ever realized.
She is a lot like Nina. Yeah,
for sure.
Everything, like, there's this really weird inability to take personal accountability for anything. Like, everything in this storyline that she's done wrong, she's turned around and said, but Michael did this.
Mm-hmm.
And like no understanding of like you cheated on Michael and that's why Michael did A, B, and C. Like, and she's like, "Nuh-uh, but I'm a good wife and everyone loves me and I should be with the kids."
Don't get me started on that. Molly. Molly, we saw Molly for a little bit this week. She was came to see how Michael was doing, and
Michael was really good to them, you know.
He was, yes.
And like Michael is really a good like he's a good role model for these people, despite the parents. He's always been a really good role model for the other members of the Corinthos Davis Quartermain clan.
Right. And despite how she feels, she did offer Christina, you know.
She shouldn't, though.
She shouldn't. Not at all. She owes Christina nothing.
No, just because Christina doesn't know what real grief is because all she can think about is how things pertain to her. And she even comments, she's like, "I'm so selfish. Why am I saying these things?" And it's like, okay, you're so close to self-awareness. So close.
Yes, I agree. All right. So let's see. So Brennan wants to lay breadcrumbs for Jocelyn to figure out who stabbed Dex. And I really enjoyed this. I thought he did a great job giving her the witness list, and she knew exactly where to start. She goes to talk to Felicia, who's working and at the hospital. And Felicia finally remembers that missing detail about the bells.
Because of the elevator.
Because of the elevator, yes.
Yeah, the elevator dinged, the bell kept going, and it jogged her memory.
That was great writing. Really good writing.
Not only was that great writing, that was great cinematography, because the way they had Felicia and Jocelyn set up with Jack Brennan in the middle, and the way they moved the camera for that scene was possibly the best. Like, it was so amazing. Great work.
It was, all around just great scene. And Jocelyn knows who to go to.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. We also have some great scenes with the lawyers at I don't know, were they at the Metroport? I couldn't tell.
They were.
The lounge, I guess, the lounge part.
Were they? Because like Ava and Rick are there too, right? Aren't they?
Yeah, because Sasha.
There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, Sasha was there earlier with Maxie and Felicia when she heard about Michael.
But also, isn't that where Cyrus is working? And I don't think that Carly would employ Cyrus.
Yeah, but I don't think Carly would hire Cyrus.
Yeah, so we're not at the Metrocore. We got to be somewhere else.
Yeah, we're definitely somewhere else.
Somebody comment and tell me where the heck they were, because I didn't pay enough attention. I was so focused on the dialogue, I didn't.
Yes. Alexis and Diane are talking about Michael, and Cyrus overhears, and that was some great foreshadowing. I kind of figured out what was going to happen as soon as I saw that.
I was hoping I was wrong.
I was hoping I was wrong too, and I did not expect it to happen so soon either. But we'll get to that. Let's see. Also, Ava and Rick are there as well, and I love when Rick says, you got her law license suspended, and you allegedly pushed your daughter out the window. Yeah, she'll help you.
Okay, listen. Sure. But why not just
go
ask anyway?
Of course, Alexis is not responsive for that.
Every scene with Rick and Alexis is like a pure gift of joy to me.
Yeah, I agree. It was
because he just sits down. He's like, "Is this seat taken?" And she goes, "Yes."
Yes. Perfect. They must be having fun, the two of them. I love their scenes together, and I enjoy their animosity so much. It's great. So we get to the end of the week, and also before we get to that, Cyrus was talking to Martin, seeing if he could get help to get his privileges back at General Hospital. He can go.
Right, and Martin's like, "That's not going to happen."
Right, exactly. Martin's like, "I don't really care enough to do that."
I don't really care, and the hospital has the right to restrict your access if you're making people uncomfortable. Yeah. And you have your ministry, and you can go anywhere else. So just let it go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Diane comes up to interrupt to talk about the court case.
Yeah. Also, I want to talk about Sasha and Jason a little bit. So when Sasha goes to see Michael, Jason has just come out of the room, and Michael's in a lot of pain and is going to be sedated. and because he's in so much pain, as Portia informs him, our bad news bear. And
somebody has to be.
and Jason is, upset, of course, and Sasha's there, arrives, and she's also upset, and they have I definitely feel like they're going to pair the two of them.
I think you're right, and I'm not against it, but I'm also not for it. I mean, the age difference aside, I just don't see it or why it would happen. But I think it's going to be connected to the baby, obviously,
Absolutely.
because he's going to want to be there for that kid. He was there for Michael, and he's feeling really guilty because they even used a clip from the 90s when he was holding Michael, when Carly basically abandoned that baby and Jason was raising the baby for like a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason also feels guilty. He feels guilty for the thing that Drew accused Carly of. He feels guilty for letting his business and Sonny raise that baby.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why he keeps saying, he's like, we got to get out of the mob. I'm not letting this happen to Danny.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. I think Jason has shown so much character growth lately, and I'm here for it. I love it.
I'm all over it. I think it's the best thing that ever happened to Jason's character since pre-accident.
And you know what's funny? Sam would love this too if she were around.
Not the way they were writing Sam in the last couple of years, but original Sam would have liked it.
You know what I mean.
Sometimes people character develop out of the character. You know what I mean?
That is very true. All right, so we get to our cliffhanger this week where we have Cyrus is dressed in scrubs. He's dressed in scrubs, and
they have weird scrubs. They have scrubs, but then
scrubs, yeah.
I think he had PPE over the scrubs because Michael is going to be very susceptible to infection from the fire. So that's why he has like the yellow kind of outfit over top of the regular scrubs.
Yeah. It didn't look like the GH scrubs, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, it was the really thin yellow stuff. It's like they put it on when they're going it. Lucas had it on too.
Oh, okay. So he sneaks in and Cyrus injects Digitalis into Michael's IV.
And I go, no.
Yeah, I was so upset. I was
hoping someone would stop him. I was freaking out because, like, boy, they sure like to kill every member of Monica's family, don't they?
Yeah. I was freaking out too. I was like, this is too soon. Like, I thought someone was going to stop him. I thought something else would happen, but nope. Michael is on his way to a heart attack, essentially.
Yep.
Man, what a way to end the week, though. Great cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's a great cliffhanger if you want to rip my guts out all over the floor. This is AJ's kid, and I'm an AJ stan. So like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
It's not what I would choose for Michael's departure. I feel like they should have. We've talked about this in our messages, but I feel like they could have temporarily recasted or wrote him out a different way. But this is not the way I think he should have written out, but it's what they went with, and I still am enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it. For this week, I would like to say that, like, I loved Ava. She wasn't on that much, but she was entertaining as hell. Rick is great anytime he's on. He's just so fun.
Yeah, he is.
It's great to see Martin, like, integrating back into the storyline. I love seeing the chemistry between him and Diane. That's a definite possibility of a couple.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go up against each other. I don't know how this is. One of the big things this week that happened that we kind of like touched on a little bit is that Willow is reminded that she has Michael's medical proxy.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And since she has Michael's medical proxy, Drew was like, why don't you use that as a bargaining chip to get your kids back? So Drew and Nina, the two scumbags who should be together, are convincing Willow to do every awful thing she can to keep those kids. And really all she had to do was go to court and Michael would have done split custody. But she's got these two people whispering in her ear that Michael's the worst human being on the planet. So she goes in because they're talking about putting Michael, while Michael's being poisoned, they're all in there talking about putting him in a long-term burn care facility. And she strolls right up into the middle and she's just like, nobody makes any decisions about Michael. I'm his wife and I have his proxy. So you are going to come to me. And I was texting my mom and I was like, if Carly walked across the room and snapped her neck, I would not be surprised.
Oh my god, yeah. That made me really angry. I did not like that.
Yeah, it was horrific. I mean, they're going for a villain arc with
Especially
these.
because
I'm
Drew
here for it.
created the whole thing. That made me even more mad. And Willow will do whatever Drew says to do. And
Yeah. She is very gullible in a lot of ways I didn't expect from her.
Yeah. She's under Drew's spell. He has this control over her.
That's what everybody's been saying. And he is being very manipulative. You saw that in the church. When he was in the church, he was like, how many past things can I bring up and throw in Carly's face to make her feel guilty about this whole scenario, make her come back on my side or whatever? And Carly was like, knock away. Like everything that came at her, Carly was ready. And it did hurt her, but she wasn't going to let Drew see that. Especially when he said, do you think you made a bad decision not letting AJ raise the baby? Like Carly was like, what?
20-something?
20, 21 at the time. They were all really young. And she just didn't understand how anything worked in town. She'd had that whole thing where she was angrily sleeping with Jason, AJ, Tony, all at the same time. She was trying to pass that baby off as Tony's. Like, she was not in the best mental shape in that scenario, including the fact that she dropped the baby with Jason and then dipped for a while. Like, Carly was not in a good mental state, so we can't really judge her for making clear decisions 30 years ago.
And Sonny even said you made the best decision you could at the time. So.
Yeah, but that man's never made a good decision in his entire life. So
that's true.
It's fine. I mean, I hate agreeing with Sonny. I did agree with him in that moment, but like Sonny, if there's two choices in front of you, one's good, one's bad, Sonny's choosing the bad one every single time.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the fun of Sonny.
All right. Anything else before we head over to Patreon?
I think if Willow and Drew continue down the path they're continuing down, they're either going to become a very villainous couple or they're going to get murdered.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Karen and I are going to head over to Patreon, and we have a clip of the week to watch. The nominees this week are Michael is engulfed by the fire. Lucas freezes when he sees Michael come into the hospital.
That was awful.
Yeah, and Willow and Jocelyn's epic confrontation.
Yay.
So come and join us and find out who wins. Thanks again, and we will see you next week.